welcome back to Notier's Frontiers Diaries. In our last episode, we were traveling from Kenya to Uganda. We're here in Kampala, Uganda today, and in this episode we'll talk about the last leg of our journey from Jinja to Kampala, which is the capital city of Uganda. We started in Jinja in the morning, which is a beautiful town right on the shores of Lake Victoria. It's really nice and tropical, and after our horrible border crossing the day before, it was so wonderful just to swim in a pool and kind of luxuriate ourselves before hitting the road again. And then first thing in the morning, we had to cross the Nile River.
Yeah, right just west of Jinja is the Nile. And there's this big, beautiful bridge that goes across it with a suspension bridge.
It's like the prettiest bridge I have seen in a very long time.
And there's the main bridge, and what we experienced coming from west to east into Jinja is we were waved down by these, officials with
kind of like in camo gear.
Camo, they had guns too, but they flagged us down and they said, you cannot cross that bridge, you have to pay a toll. There was no signage that's, no motorcycle with an X through it. There was no anything like that. And it took about 5 minutes to how do we cross this river if we can't utilize the bridge?
Right.
And after much persuasion, they said, oh, well, there's a smaller little road.
Actually, first they said, no, you can cross the bridge, but you'll have to pay a fine if you do. We'll
an
ticket
upfront
you.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, these gentlemen's sole job is to wave over motorcyclists and potentially
find them,
get money out of them with no signage, no nothing. But again, you got to comply. And finally, after they realized we weren't going to give them any money, they said that there's this little Boda bridge.
It's specifically for the motorcycles that they have here, which are not large like our motorcycle. They're the small little
150 or 125 cc. They're small little things.
Yeah.
And this bridge that we had to take, it turned out to be pretty scenic and nice. We realized that it's on top of a dam, so it's a fairly narrow bridge. It's not a suspension bridge, it's not a pillar bridge, it's on top of a dam.
But it's really pretty because you have this huge gushing waterfall on one side of it that makes it really scenic.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. It was, it ended up being a pretty cool detour for us.
But getting there, there's no way to get there that isn't already known by locals. So
Google Maps is no, you take this big bridge. That's why would you not take this giant bridge?
Yeah, so we had to go over a few curbs and a few lawns and
the fun thing about it is once you pass the area of no signage of you can't go this way, there is nowhere within the median to turn around. And so at that point they've already got you. So, thankfully with the small peaky, these small motorcycles, you can pretty much pick them up and carry them over a mountain. But, our motorcycle, we were able to, lumberously ride over the curb, and we got back onto the opposing side of traffic and made it to the bridge.
And continued on our way. And our journey to...
those are black ibises.
Those are really annoying. They are probably the most annoying bird in Africa.
Yeah, if you see a picture of one of those and you don't hear, then you have not been to Africa. That is just a staple.
Yeah, they are all across the continent, so sorry about that. But our journey to Kampala was pretty nice. The problem is that, in my opinion, Kampala has some of the worst traffic in Africa that we've come across. I mean, this is up for debate.
Yeah.
But I don't like it just because of all of these small motorcycles that weave in and out, and pretty much every time we go out in the city we see some sort of accident.
Small, nothing's on fire and crumpled wreckage, but it's always a boda that gets bumped.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen people roll and tumble and parts break off of the motorcycles.
You know, I mean, they get right back up and they pick up their little bike and they kickstart it again and they go on their way. Like, that's just, you know, a part of how society works here. But a gentleman that is staying here at the same hostel as us, he was actually on the back of a boda, and an oncoming car was trying to go around another car that was turning, and I'm not sure how fast they were going, but they sideswiped him, and he fractured his arm in 2 places.
Yeah.
And he also got, it's not rug burn, it's car burn, right? That, you know, on the side of his leg.
Yeah, definitely limping around, has a cast, and we've heard lots of stories like this. It's definitely got its element of danger to it, and there's a lot of congestion in the city as well. So,
you know, and the give and take is, I don't like to ride my big, stupid, lumbersome motorcycle around. I love riding my big, stupid, lumbersome motorcycle
yeah, I was about
around.
to say, what sort of sentence is that?
in Kampala traffic, it's just so much easier to hop on a boda. You can also, they have Uber here, which is very convenient.
Yeah, they have Uber for bodas.
They have Uber for bodas.
You just hop on the back of some guy's motorcycle.
And
2 people can ride on the back too.
They have your standard little compact car Uber too, but you hire an Uber and it's like hiring a taxi in New York during downtown rush hour traffic. It's just pointless. You might as well walk. And it's so hot that you're in this little oven that's not moving anywhere, and you're looking out the window like a sad puppy as you see all these bodas just passing you, and you're thinking, why not me? Why not me?
You definitely want to be on a small motorcycle here. That is the way to get around town.
So
it's a bit like a video game. You know?
Yes, it's like Frogger.
Yeah.
But definitely a risk reward. We've taken bodas multiple times. You know, we always wear our face masks and stuff, but Marisa can sit in the middle between me and the rider. We've seen a 4th person be on the back of a boda. We've seen a family of 5 on a boda. We've seen a family of 5 with a small child on the handlebar. You know, like, so.
We've seen it all.
It's
goats, all sorts of
chickens,
creatures you can put on those little motorcycles as well. And the amount of things that they carry,
sugarcane,
unbelievable. Like just boxes and crates and furniture, couches. We see couches on those things.
Yeah.
It's really
their
incredible.
Own Wells Fargo wagon is a 2-wheeled 125cc motorcycle with an 11-inch front wheel.
If you need to get a giant pole that's 25 feet long across the city, you just hire a guy on a tiny motorcycle.
And you drag that thing as it sparks its way from one side of town to the other.
Yeah, so it's quite dangerous. So I never like driving through Kampala traffic, but this time was okay despite the fact that we didn't have working back brakes.
Yes.
We still survived, so thank you for that, Tim.
Yes. You know, and some people out there, you know, adrenaline comes in many ways. We are thrill seekers.
To a degree.
We're thrill seekers, right? And we went skydiving. We've done some crazy. We ride around the world on a motorcycle, you know. But
I think compared to some people, we're still on the cautious side of things. Some people love that type of traffic, and they really like to weave around in it.
Braden was he was a Canadian that was staying with us the first 7-month bout, and he enjoyed. He was just and I'd be on the back of it just like you know, paranoid, and he likes weaving around. He did have a 650. So slightly smaller, but it's still twice as big as any of these other ones.
You definitely want to not have panniers on.
You cannot have panniers on. Like, you just can't.
You really can't.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, coming into the city this time, we had all of our belongings. So of course we had our panniers on.
But I was a little bit more used to it, and I wasn't as shell-shocked as I was the first time I pulled into the city, you know.
Yeah.
So
the other thing is they drive on the British side of the road here, which we're quite used to by now. We've been doing it since South Africa, which was more than a year and a half ago.
And unlike Britain, you can also utilize the sidewalks as your thorough way.
Okay, they don't have sidewalks, but you know,
they have
sides
community
of the roads.
concrete paths that can be shared between either pedestrians or motorcycles or a side of a truck if they need to squeeze around.
And to make matters even worse, they have a lot of flooding that happens here because the rains can be so intense. I mean, you've probably heard about African thunderstorms. They can just plummet down rain. And so they build these super deep gutters on the sides of the roads, and there's no, guardrail or any type of railing between these gutters. There's children and women and people walking right along the gutters, and then there's the motorcycles riding along them and all the traffic. And so, one false move, one mistake, and someone can go crashing into maybe 4 feet deep of a concrete basin.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not all horrible and stress, right? There's definitely positives as well. I mean, compared to Bolivia, for example, Bolivia was absolutely amazingly beautiful, but getting gas was very difficult.
That is true.
And that is something that I just prematurely thought would be a problem here in Africa. I thought gas stations would be sparse, and I'd have to, every time I get half a tank, I'd have to be sure to fill up. But gas has never been an issue here.
Yeah.
Whereas in certain parts of South America, you really got to plan out,
Yeah, our motorcycle, I think, in comparison to others, gets an averagely good amount of gas mileage.
I get really excited when I'm in the mid 40s per mile per gallon. So I'm really excited around 42, 43.
I mean, we have so much weight. We have both of us on the motorcycle plus all of our gear just on one motorcycle. So that really does add up.
But the flat plains of Africa going, in a straight line is really good gas mileage compared to Argentina and the Patagonian winds.
And the ups and downs.
I mean, you just cut your gas mileage in half when you have a 60 mile an hour oncoming wind force. It's just
definitely.
It's just insane.
Yeah, and here, it is very populated, and so you do find gas stations all over the place.
There's shells.
Yeah, and even if you don't find a gas station, people will often just have gasoline on hand that they might be able to sell you.
Yeah.
So that has been one of the nice things about riding around in Africa.
We made it back to our home away from home.
Yes,
which
it's
is
a homecoming.
Kampala, kind of where this whole pandemic rooted. We were originally here with multiple friends. It was sad to see them one by one fly back to their home countries or continue their travels elsewhere.
Yes.
But we're back. There's a friendly staff, that we know, and there's Thomas the monkey.
Oh, he's my favorite thing about this place, and I have a lot of favorite things about this place. But I mean, you just can't beat Thomas the monkey.
Come on, Thomas. You got it, buddy. There you go. There you go, little buddy. Yeah.
Yum yum. He's such an interesting looking monkey.
He looks like a little British soldier. He's got the little, handlebar,
He's got the whiskers.
whiskers,
Sure, yeah.
like an 1800s general from Great Britain.
So he's a wild monkey, but he doesn't have a family or anything, so I'm not sure what his story is and why he's just here by himself in a big city. If he was taken as a pet and escaped or what. But
Right.
he's cautious of people, but we still do leave out bananas and apples for him.
And he's got a little bit of facial recognition of us. He remembers us. We can
Yes.
put a banana or an apple about 5 feet from him, and he'll come up slowly and cautiously and look at you and then grab the apple and put it in his mouth and scamper off.
Yeah.
And he's got huge fangs that
He does.
were hard to see from afar when we were first here. And he's got this.
Oh, his tail.
3
is
feet?
So
I don't even have any idea.
beautiful. It's this long red tail. But, I mean, it's gorgeous, but I just don't understand.
Its use.
Yeah,
Doesn't
obviously
wrap
for
around branches,
balance,
yeah.
but it doesn't seem like he can really move it well. It just kind of hangs there for beauty purposes,
Yes.
I guess.
Aesthetic purposes.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty. But we love Thomas, and it is good to be back. We will presently be leaving here and going back to our home in Chicago. But it was really nice to come full circle from where we started over a year ago. Then we spent 6 months in Kenya, in Nanyuki, and that was nice as well. But it is nice to be back before we head off of this amazing continent.
Yes, a couple more squawks from the black ibises to forever be ingrained into my mind.
Yeah.
And then a couple of airplanes, and we land in Chicago, home,
Yep.
home sweet home.
Well, we'll be updating you on how everything goes. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And we will be seeing you next time.
Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Stay safe.